This is the project we're going to do today. I'm calling this one's Heron's Home. And I did this one because Kevin of Stampscapes has been doing some of his Stampscapes 101 where he's been doing some quick scenes. So I wanted to try and see if I can do a quick scene, because usually when I do these types of stamping scenes it takes me anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. So this is just to see what I can do quickly. And these are the stamps that were used. They're all Stampscape stamps. This, and this were all from the Nature Set 6. I'm not sure, sometimes I buy the Nature Sets, and so I'm not sure if any of these stamps are available individually. But you can always go to the Stampscapes website to check to see if any of these are available separately. But also the two herons, this is 424D and this one is 418B. This little grass was from the Nature Set 9, and the shore near is 412E. And then these are the different inks and Copic markers and some of the other supplies that I used for this project. I will also have this information in the description of the video. And so let's begin. All right, we'll start by stamping the little cottage on the shore on the other side. And then the little line of trees. Now for these trees, I'm going to want to put the reflection in the water. So I'll just put a little mask here. And then I will stamp these trees again and then just stamp them upside down. See, and actually these trees I want to have a little taller. There we go. Next we'll do the little rocky shore. Then we'll do the big heron here. Then we'll do the little heron. And now I'll use my little stencil made from Lawn Fawn, and I'll start with a Lawn Fawn die. I'll start with using some Memento Summer Sky. And let's see, let me actually zoom in so you can get a better view of what I'm doing. And I'll just put some of the Summer Sky on my blending brush and then just start applying to the sky. And unfortunately, this stamp also has stitched outline, which is coming through because of my heavy hand. Okay. And I will clean off my brush on a dry microfiber cloth. And then I am going to just go back and forth with the clean brush on the sky that I just put down. Now I'll use some Memento Bahama Blue to just brush in a little bit darker at the edges here. Okay, and now I'm going to want to add a little bit of green to those trees. So I'll use some YG63 Copic marker and just quickly color in some green here. Not being very careful, just giving a green tint to these trees. See, and it's starting to pool a bit, so I'm going to take the other end off. And I will dap this up because it pooled quite a bit. This particular marker is probably a little overfilled, which is why it was having a tendency to pool. And I'll also take my colorless blender and see if we can get rid of some of the green color that came out into the background. Okay. And I also want to put, well, actually, I'm going to use a lighter color. I'll use YG61 for the reflection of the trees in the water. And also put some green down in here. Okay, now I will start on the water, and I'll start with my summer sky. And I will just start bringing this in. Oops, sorry, off screen there. And clean off my brush. I'll add some Bahama blue. Okay, clean off my brush. And I'll add a little bit of the summer sky down here to the bottom also. And then I will clean off my brush and just kind of smooth everything out here. Okay, now I will use a little bit of Danube blue and bring that in even a little more to darken the parts of the water. Clean off the brush. Just go back and forth. Okay, now I will also darken the sky a bit. And then also at the very top. So I'm leaving a highlight in the middle and then a reflection of the highlight in the water. And then I'll clean off. Then I will start on the ground with some new sprout and just bring that into the ground underneath here. Next, I'll do some bamboo leaves. Clean off my brush and bring this in, starting to emphasize the dark areas of the ground. And I'll use my long skinny brush to start adding in some green color over here also. And then I will come in with some cottage ivy. Clean off my little skinny brush first. And I want to concentrate this pretty much on the darker areas. Okay, and then I will take my clean bigger brush. Sorry, I am off screen again. Take my clean bigger brush and just kind of brush back and forth. And same with up here, just to kind of equalize that. Okay, now I want to do the cabin. And I think I'll use my Copic markers E55 and E57. And so I will start with the E55 and just kind of color it in. And also I'll use the same for the rocks on the opposite shore here and the rocks in the front too. And then some E57 in the darker areas. On the house and also the rocks. And then I'll go back to the E55 and blend everything out here. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take a dry paper towel and just kind of buff that down, what I've just added. Okay, and now I'm going to take my toner grays. I'll take a T5 and a T3 and do the roof of the cabin. And I will put the place where I think it's going to be darkest with the T5 and then the T3 to kind of blend it. And I'm leaving parts of the roof blank. I'm not coloring it all in. Then I'll buff it with my paper towel. And yeah, I don't know what to do. Unfortunately, my the stencil that I used is putting those little dots in there. I don't know how well you can see that in the clouds. But maybe what I'll do with that, see if I can take a cotton swab and I will put some water on it and see if I can smooth out these lines. Okay, maybe a little bit, softening them a little bit. Not making them completely go away, but they're not as obvious. Okay. Now I'm going to use my Zeyar, the dark yellow marker. And these are paint markers. If I can get the lid off. There we go. And I want to make sure that it is primed. Let's see, I'll zoom out just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to add some color to the windows. Then I'm going to take the paper towel and I'm just going to dab it to lift up most of the paint marker. And you can see it kind of leaves a little yellow tinge there. And I will do the same for the reflection area here, for the reflections of the windows. Just to add a slight yellow tinge to the window. Okay, and now, let's see, I think I'm going to take my YG63 Copic marker and add some more green back here. All right, now I am going to take my Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink, and I will use one of my Fantastics applicators where I've cut it off to kind of a wedge shape, and I will add some highlights to the water. So along the shore here, I will put some white to show the water lapping against the opposite shore. And I will take a Q-tip and just kind of mash it down to kind of soften that a bit. And I will also take my paper towel and just kind of dab it. And I also want to take it off the neck of the heron here, so I'll just kind of wipe that off. All right, now I want to add some ripples around the little heron in the water. Okay, and once again also with this, I will kind of dab it up with a paper towel just to kind of soften it. And I think I will also use a Uniball gel pen and add a little bit more defined ripples around the little heron and also right along the shore. Just kind of lightly put on the ripples right by the shore. And then I will also add some highlights. And that one went on a little bit too thick, so I'll dab it up. And I will just add some dots to the trees. And also some dots as stars in the sky. And I will also use a Q-tip and my unicorn white, and I will just pick one of these stars to kind of emphasize it a little bit. And again, I added too much, so I will just kind of dab it up to soften it a bit. And then I will use my Memento Tuxedo black, and I will add some grasses. And add it to the foreground. And I will also use the smaller grass and a mask here to put some grasses on the opposite side of the shore. Like that. And let's see. One of my stars over here kind of streaked. I guess I could call it a shooting star, but I'll just use my finger to kind of scrape it down. And so you can see here. And so I guess the last thing, since the whole idea is trying to keep this one a short video, the last thing I'm going to do then is I will sign and date it. And this is the final result. I will take it out and spray it with the acrylic coating to protect it, but I will want to wait until the pigment ink dries before I do that. And so I will pause the video until everything dries, and then we'll be back. Actually, I forgot. I wanted to add some earth tones to the grass, so I've got some desert sand and rich cocoa. And so I will use my long skinny brush again just to kind of brush in some of these earth tones here. And so that's desert sand and the rich cocoa. And then I will just kind of put that in. I will clean off my brush and kind of just blend this in. And maybe a little off the bottom also. This is the rich cocoa. Darken this bottom edge a bit. Okay, and there we have it. Let's see, and I'll also put some rich cocoa up along this shore too, to kind of darken it. And then just blend it in. And there we go. Okay, and here is the final product after it's been sprayed with the acrylic coating, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!